What really happens to older men who live alone without a woman by their side? Not everyone dares to ask, and even fewer people dare to answer with honesty, because society often looks at them with pity, as if living alone means something sad, unusual, or incomplete. But the truth is quite the opposite. There's a different world out there, a world where men over 70 choose to live alone with dignity, freedom, and a deep sense of personal values. Not because they don't need anyone, but because they know exactly who they are. They don't just survive in solitude. They live fully with themselves. In this video, we'll explore 5 important truths: how they take care of their health, how they handle finances, how they maintain social bonds, and most importantly, how they find peace within. If you're living alone or know someone who is, I invite you to listen with empathy. Before we begin, where are you watching from? Let us know your city or country in the comments. We read every message with care. And if this is your first time here, please subscribe to our channel. Join us in discovering real and meaningful stories like this. Now let's begin. 1. Independence as a source of strength and identity. For many older men, living alone is not an accident. It's a choice. And in that choice, they find something few people understand. Independence is a core part of their identity. Not everyone is comfortable waking up in a quiet home. No footsteps. No one waiting at the breakfast table. But for men like Frank, 79 years old, that quiet is a gift. I enjoy the silence, he says. I get to live at my own pace. Eat when I'm hungry. Read when I want. Sleep when I need. Not because I don't need anyone, but because I need myself more. Living alone gives them the power to make decisions without compromise. They can arrange their home the way they like, manage their health appointments on their own time, and keep a lifestyle that feels right to them. It's not about isolation. It's about freedom. It's not loneliness. It's control. Independence also nourishes self-respect. When a man knows he's managing his life, from meals to sleep to health care, he feels strong. Not just physically, but deep inside. He knows he's still alive, still present, and still in charge. Psychologically, this sense of control can reduce stress, improve mental health, and bring a sense of purpose. And from that stability comes calm. Without pressure from personal relationships, people get to live more honestly, with themselves. Of course, living alone doesn't mean cutting off from the world. Many still stay connected to friends, neighbors, or their community. They choose how and when to connect, without being pulled by anyone else's needs. A morning walk alone, an afternoon game with old friends, an evening reading in peace. Every moment is theirs to choose. From the outside, this life may seem empty. But once you step into their world, you'll see something else. A quiet fullness built on self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-respect. If you're still watching, comment the number 1 below. It's a small way to say you're here and listening. Independence isn't easy, but for the men who choose to live alone, it is strength. And from that foundation, they continue to build lives of peace and freedom. Because when you are strong within yourself, you are never truly alone. 2. Social connections beyond romantic love. Living alone doesn't mean living in isolation. Many older men have discovered something essential. Meaningful connection doesn't have to come from romantic relationships. In fact, those who live solo often keep a rich circle of friends, family, and community ties. And they do it on their own terms. Take Walter, 75, a retired engineer. He lives alone in a small home near the park. Every Saturday afternoon, he plays cards with his closest friends. Friends he's known for decades. We don't need to say much, he says. Just showing up, playing a few hands, laughing a little. That's enough to feel alive. These relationships, free from romantic expectations, are often more relaxed. No pressure. No emotional tension. Just presence and sincerity. They choose when to connect, when to rest. And that choice makes every bond stronger. Besides friendships, many stay close to their children, grandchildren, siblings, or longtime neighbors. Video calls. Holiday visits. A quiet conversation over tea. All are simple yet powerful ways to stay close. Technology has helped too. Even when family is far away, a message or a call brings warmth and comfort. They're not left behind. They're choosing how to stay in touch. Some go even further. Joining book clubs, volunteering, helping at the local center. These daily connections don't just fight loneliness. They give meaning and a sense of belonging. What makes these connections special is their simplicity and honesty. Unlike love relationships, they're light, steady, and true. Just people showing up for one another. No roles to play. No conditions. If you're still with us, comment the number 2 below. Just a number, but a sign that you too value these everyday bonds. Love isn't the only form of connection. It lives in a kind word, a shared laugh, a friend who stays near, even in silence. Because when you don't need someone to fill a space, you have even more to offer from the heart. 3. Physical health and the role of lifestyle choices. Many people believe that living alone leads to declining health. But the truth is, the health of older men living solo depends much more on their daily choices than on whether they live with someone or not. Some may face challenges without reminders to take medication. No one nearby in case of a fall. No one to share meals with. But many others remain strong, sharp, and healthy because they've found their own ways to take care of themselves. Raymond, 78, is a retired firefighter. After losing his wife, he continued living alone. Each morning, he walks around the lake near his home. Then he swims at the local community center. I don't have anyone here to take care of me, he says. So I have to take care of myself. And he means it. That sense of responsibility drives many men like him to take their health seriously. They schedule their checkups. They cook balanced meals. They stay active. And they do it not because someone tells them to, but because they know no one else will. Mental well-being also plays a key role. Living alone often means fewer daily conflicts, fewer arguments. For many, this creates a more peaceful mind. And a calm mind supports a healthy body. Of course, not everyone finds this easy. There are lonely days, and moments when illness or crisis feels overwhelming. But those with a positive lifestyle often build a support system, whether it's their doctor, a neighbor, or a walking group. They don't wait for help. They create it. Technology helps too. A quick video call to a friend. A reminder on the phone for medication. It's never been easier to stay connected and stay on track. Raymond's story isn't rare. Many older men living alone find motivation in their independence. They eat better, move more, and stay engaged. Health doesn't come from luck. It comes from intention. And in the absence of a partner, many find their why, deep inside themselves. If you're still with us, leave the number 3 in the comments. Let's acknowledge that caring for your health is a quiet act of strength. Because health doesn't depend on who's beside you. It begins with the choices you make, every day, in small, steady steps. And when you live alone, that choice becomes even more meaningful. 4. Financial independence and the right to choose. One thing that's rarely talked about, but deeply impacts why older men choose to live alone is financial independence. When a man can manage his own money, he can also shape the life he wants. No need to negotiate budgets. No pressure to explain every expense. He can plan his future with clarity and freedom. Leonard, 72, is a retired accountant. He lives alone in a small apartment near downtown. "I know where every dollar goes," he says, "and that gives me peace. I spend on what brings me joy, a new book, a short trip, or a good meal. It's not about being wealthy. It's about being in control. That control builds confidence. They don't feel dependent. They don't feel like a burden. They feel capable. And that sense of dignity matters deeply, especially with age. Financial freedom also lets them make long-term plans without interference. They invest in healthcare, buy insurance, write their wills, and they do it on their own terms. No delay, no discussion, just clarity. Of course, living alone requires more responsibility. There's no partner to split bills or make big decisions with. But for many, that responsibility brings growth. They become more careful, more thoughtful, more secure. Leonard isn't alone in this. Thousands of men see financial independence as the backbone of their lifestyle. From everyday spending to legacy planning, it's all part of living life on their terms. And above all, money isn't just money. It's the power to choose. To say, "This is what I want," and make it happen. If you're still here, comment number 4 below. It's a small way to say you value the right to choose for yourself. Living alone doesn't mean going without. Sometimes it's the chance to live exactly how you want, with no compromises, no pressure, no need to explain. 5. Emotional strength and deep self-awareness. There's a quiet strength that many don't notice in older men who live alone. It's called emotional resilience. Choosing to live alone in later life is rarely a casual decision. It reflects deep self-awareness, the courage to stand without leaning on anyone else, and the ability to face life with calm and clarity. Albert, 77, a former high school teacher, has lived alone for over a decade. He says, "I've learned to accept the silence, to listen to myself, and I've realized I don't need a relationship to feel whole." Many men like Albert have walked through loss, through quiet seasons of grief and adjustment. But instead of letting that silence consume them, they learn to live with it. They write. They walk. They join book clubs or paint in stillness. They don't run from their feelings. They face them, feel them, and let them pass. This is self-awareness, a strength born from years of living, loving, losing, and healing. With no need to play a role in a relationship, they finally get to be fully themselves. And with no one to rely on, they learn to rely on themselves. Not because they're tougher than others, but because they no longer need outside approval to feel worthy. That solitude becomes a space for truth, for peace. That doesn't mean they never feel lonely. But instead of fearing loneliness, they learn how to sit with it. They don't hide from it. They understand that sometimes loneliness is where we grow the most. Many also find meaning by giving back, mentoring, volunteering, connecting across generations. These actions remind them they are still needed, still valuable, still part of something bigger. If you're still here, comment number 5 below. It's a quiet way to say you, too, are finding strength within. Because sometimes the most powerful thing isn't having someone next to you. It's being able to look in the mirror and say, "I'm okay. I'm steady. I'm still me." Conclusion. We've just explored 5 truths about older men who choose to live alone without a woman by their side. But what stands out most isn't loneliness. It's strength. independence, resilience, and a life lived with deep intention. They don't live alone to avoid people. They live alone to stay close to themselves. From everyday decisions, to the friendships they maintain, to how they care for their body, their finances, and their emotional world. Each truth reveals something quietly powerful. And maybe you see part of yourself in these stories. Or think of someone close to you who walks this path. Whether you live alone or with someone, what truly matters isn't who's beside you. It's whether you're living in truth with yourself. If something in this video touched you, leave a comment below. A word, a thought, a feeling. Your message matters, not just to us, but to others who are walking the same journey. And if you found this helpful, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep creating meaningful content, not just to watch, but to feel. Thank you for staying with us until the end. We'll see you in the next story. One step at a time, one truth at a time, with strength, with heart, and with dignity.